Hey, what's up, guys? It is Mr. Ratliff. I am not here. Obviously, Miss Jacobs is here, and we always appreciate that. Sorry that I'm missing yet another English class. I am out talking about social studies with Mr. Reinecker, so you guys should chew gum in the hallways today as much as possible. But he'll be back after lunchtime, so after lunch, put the gum away. But up until then, gum, all that fun stuff. All right. Up to this point, guys, we have been talking about our short stories, talking about characters, talking about settings, all that stuff. We've brainstormed some ideas. We've made our characters come alive. We've talked about traits. We've talked about their attitudes. Yesterday, we took them for a little test drive. We learned a little bit more about them. And today, we're going to do a little bit more learning about our character. But first, if you would please get into your green packet. We're going to take just a couple of notes here. They're quick notes, don't worry. I'll give you a second to get that green packet going. Everybody's rustling. I didn't know we needed a green packet. You need your green packet every day. I think I've said it every day. All right, cool. Here we go. Motivation of characters, okay? Right up there in the corner. There it is. Take notes in your packet. 2 words we need to know. Intrinsic and extrinsic, all right? Intrinsic is whenever you do something because it is personally rewarding, all right? So it is doing an activity for its own sake rather than the desire for something from the outside. Okay, so I think of intrinsic, you're doing it because it makes you feel good inside. All right, so for example, you might play a sport because you think it's fun and it makes you happy. You're not playing the sport for a trophy. You're not playing the sport for high fives. You're not playing the sport for money. Okay, you're doing it just because it makes you happy and you have fun doing it. The opposite of that would be extrinsic. I remember that, like external, okay, like outside. It happens whenever you're motivated to perform a behavior and engage in an activity to earn a reward or to avoid a punishment. Okay, so an example of that is you do your homework so that you don't get a flyer card signature. You don't do your homework. You should do your homework for you, but you do your homework because you don't want to get in trouble. That's ultimately the reason why you do that. You might play a sport to get that trophy. That would be the extrinsic motivation. It's coming from the outside. So intrinsic in, extrinsic out. Hopefully that makes some sense. But those types of things we can find in all of our characters, movies, TV shows, books, short stories, and obviously the characters you guys are getting ready to read now, or getting ready to write about now. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to think back to one of the short stories we read. We read 13 and a half. And I want you guys to think back and think about our characters. We had Ashley, we had her mom, and then we had the narrator, whom I don't think we ever found out what the narrator's name was. So we have Ashley, we have Mom, and we have the narrator. Right now, in just a second, I'm going to have Ms. Jacobs pause me, and I want you guys to just turn with a shoulder partner, somebody sitting right next to you, and I want you guys to jot down just a couple ideas, thinking about what were the obstacles and what were the motivations of those characters. Okay, so here's kind of what I'm talking about here. I got this chart that we'll look at in just a second. What were some of the obstacles and what were some of the motivations of Ashley and her mom? So, Ms. Jacobs, if you could pause now and let them knock that out, and then we'll come back to this in a second. Go. Alright, so hopefully Ms. Jacobs paused me a moment ago and you're not hearing me extended. She probably did. I trust her. She does a good job. But now, let's kind of talk about what you guys came up with. Jot down some motivations on the left side of our screen up here and some obstacles on the right side of the screen. Some things that I thought about. Actually, I'm going to pause again and you guys have that conversation without me in the class and just kind of write some things up there. And then come back to me and I'll tell you kind of some of the things that I thought about. So pause one more time, have a class conversation, write them up on the board, and then come back. All right, hopefully you're back. Okay, some motivations that I thought about. Motivations definitely for Ashley's mom. She didn't tell her about the dead bird because she was trying to be a good mom. She was trying to protect Ashley from bad feelings. Obviously, one of the motivations of our narrator, the reason that our narrator just didn't up and run away, was that she was just trying to be nice. She was trying to be a good person. That's one of her motivations. Hopefully you guys came up with some other stuff that's way better than what I thought about. Some obstacles in our story. Obviously the dead bird. That's a huge obstacle, especially for Ashley and her emotions. All right, so we've got that obstacle as the dead bird. As far as our narrator, some of the obstacles that she has is that she doesn't know Ashley. So she's in this weird situation with Ashley. She doesn't even know her. The mom isn't being very helpful at all. She's trying to study for her bar exam, and she's just kind of like, well, hopefully she works through this on her own, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, so had that as an obstacle. And there was no escape. She had nowhere to go. She can't get a ride. Oh, my God. Lieberman's walking in now. Hang on. So now Lieberman has to hear this tomorrow. Hang on just a second. Lieberman totally interrupted. But it's okay. We're good to go now. Last thing, no escape. She can't even drive. She can't go anywhere. So that is one of the other obstacles that she encounters. Okay? So we've got motivations. We've got obstacles. We've got intrinsic. We've got extrinsic. We've got all these great ideas. All right? Now what I want you guys to do is I want you to go into your own notebook, make a 2-column notes, left side being intrinsic motivations, right side being extrinsic motivations, and then maybe actually add a 3rd column and do obstacles in that 3rd column. Okay, and I want you to consider all of your characters' motivations and obstacles and make a list of all the possibilities. These are the conflicts that your character is going to encounter throughout your story. Have those ready to go for tomorrow. If you get a whole list and you feel like you're good and you're good to go and you're done, get out your boot camp from yesterday and continue writing on your boot camp. And finding out more traits about your character. All right? So the rest of the time will be workshop work time at your seat individually. And I will see you guys this afternoon. Take it easy.